Hello everyone, this is Sunniva.
And this is Johannes.
And you are watching Board Game Ramblings.
And today we are taking a look at our top 10 real-time games.
This is a fun list with a lot of fun games.
It is. These are games with either the whole game or parts of the games is timed or real-time in some other way. Really, there isn't a lot to say about this genre because most people will understand what the game is about. Either it uses sand timers, it uses timers, it uses apps.
Or you're just competing against each other.
Yeah, and in real time instead of taking turns. It's basically kind of it's not turn-based, it's real-time based. It's basically the thing that it's called, or the definition of real-time games.
Yes, look it up.
You don't really need to because we already told you what it is. So should we start? Because we don't really need to spend 6 hours talking about what it is because it's kind of straightforward.
Let's do it.
Let's go. My number 10. My number 10 is Kitchen Rush.
Yeah.
This is a cooperative game where you use sand timers to run a kitchen. You don't really use sand timers, but sand timers are your worker, and it takes time to do different actions. So you place a sand timer and you do the action. So you have to get the right ingredients, you have to cook them to get the right recipe and send them out to orders. And you're trying to do this different kind of difficulty levels. It's been a while since I played the game, but it's different kind of difficult levels, so you need to fulfill a different amount of orders. And it's a really fun game. It's very hard, and you need to play it with players who can kind of get into it, because as most real-time games, it's kind of love it or hate it. I really enjoy real-time games, so Kitchen Rush is one that I enjoy, obviously, because it is my number 10.
It is fun and it's really hard and stressful, and I feel like this is a game that you need a little bit of practice to be good at, and that is why there's different difficulty levels as well, so that you can scale it up as you get better. My number 10 is an old classic of ours. It's Ricochet Robots.
Okay.
And this really haven't got a timer until someone figures out the puzzle. So you have a kind of grid with some walls and some robots on the grid, and they're trying to, let's say you pick the red symbol, then you have to which robot can I get through the...
You have to have the red to the red symbol.
To the red, and then you're trying to, when you hit a wall or another robot, you have to stop, so then you can switch directions, and you're trying to figure out how few moves you can use to get to the symbol. And then if I say 8, then I flip a sand timer, and then you have that amount of time to find a faster route than me.
So basically this it's a very strange game, because it's it can be 5-10 people just staring at the board state.
Yeah, not very social.
No, it is a very strange game, but also it's a game of visualization.
Yes.
So if you're a hands-on person, to check things, you can't in this game. You have to stand there seeing the route. I used to be pretty good at it. I really enjoy just finding those routes. It's a very good puzzle for my brain. This was one of the games that I played the first time I was in GotCon in 2013 was the first time, because it was the first time you weren't there. I think it was 2013 when you weren't really into games yet. But this was when I played there. I was I need to own this game, and it's been a while since we played it. Usually because I'm better than people and they don't want to play the game. But that's your number 10.
It's different. It's very different from other games. It's just a puzzle.
Yes.
Basically.
It's a multiplayer puzzle, basically.
Yeah.
Your number 10, Ricochet Robots. My number 9 is a very small, it's not a co-op game actually.
Yeah?
This is really strange so far. 2 games on this list so far co-op games. Might there be more? My number 9 is Fuse.
Cool.
This is a stressful co-op game where you are trying to defuse bombs. You are rolling dice, dragging. You're pulling dice from a bag and you're rolling them, and then you drop them basically. And if you get a die you cannot use, so you have to really quick talk about, because there's a timer going, because it's a real-time game, there's a timer going, and you have to really quick decide who's getting which die, and you're trying to put them into different programs basically on the cards you have. Different cards are different programs, so this has to be, one card has to have 4 dice that are ascending numbers, one has to have a tower of dice in different colors, and a lot of different kind of puzzles that you need to get into that to solve that puzzle, get it away, and get another puzzle. And you try to solve all the puzzles and before the time goes out, or you will lose. Very fun game, like it's a 10-minute game or maybe 15-minute game. Very fun, high stress level, so this isn't one to just like relax with. This is a very high stress level game, but I think it's very fun.
Yeah, I agree. It's super cool, and it's also, you can do it easier and more difficult as well.
Yeah, you can play like in extremely hard things that are impossible to win.
And actually very like simple concepts, but yet like really challenging for the brains with the big puzzles and everyone getting something that works for them. So you don't like get a lot of negative effects.
Yeah, but because then you have to lose stuff and it's very, very harsh. So that's my number 9. What is your number 9?
My number 9 is also a stressful co-op game. This is Magic Maze. And actually, this jumped up on my like radar when I played it with my family in Christmas time, because we gave it for my like uncle's family for Christmas, and it's a game where you're like these heroes, Dungeons and Dragons style, going out for a quest, but you've forgotten your weapons, and then you have to raid a mall to get your weapons. So
it's a very funny thing.
Yeah, so there's 4 characters, but you don't like control one character. You control all the characters, but for example, I can only move the characters upstairs or to the left, and then I kind of have to peel my eyes open and just like, who needs to go to the left now? And maybe I don't see it, and then people can't talk to each other.
That is like the main point of this game. You can't speak. Because without that, the game is nothing.
Yes. So people can like put a token in front of me and just
like, you
need to do something. And I'm just like, what? No, you need to do something. But I can't scream it. I just have to think really angry inside of me.
Yeah.
This is very stressful and very fun. It's also easy mode and hard mode.
There's a campaign basically where like there's scenarios, not a campaign, but scenarios where you add more and more rules. I think we came into maybe level 4 or something. It's just super hard.
Yes, and also there's some easy rules that you can play with. For example, my parents when they try to join us. Yes.
Yeah, but it's a very nice game, and that it's just a genius thing of, okay, so it's a co-op game, but how to make it harder? Okay, you cannot basically communicate. But you can with that big red pawn that you're going to put in front of people very, very hard. That's what's happening. Like, someone is putting it in front of you and you're taking it like, no, it's going to you. And then putting it back to you and I'm like, no, it's actually going to you. And you're trying to keep that inside of you and be calm, but you're not calm because you're playing Magic Maze.
A clever game to give to children, just a little heads up, because my cousins are really loud and like get super noisy when they're fighting, so then they couldn't do it. It was pretty enjoyable, actually.
And if you have smaller kids, there is a junior version now.
Yeah, cool.
And there's also Magic Maze in space, which I don't know if there's any differences or just like a theme.
Check it
out. Haven't checked that out because we have the original and we're probably just going to keep that.
Yeah, Magic Maze.
So that was your number 9.
Yeah.
So my number 8 is going to be the first crossover for the list, also going to be very quick. My number 8 is Ricochet Robots.
Cool. My number 8 is also a crossover.
What?
It is...
Ricochet Robots.
No, it's Fuse.
It would be strange if it was Ricochet Robots.
Yeah.
So you know, my number 8, Ricochet Robots, your
Everything
number 8...
is...
Ricochet Robots.
Ricochet Robots.
So my number 8, what did I say? Ricochet Robots. And your number 8 was Fuse. Let's do another crossover, should we? My number 6 then is gonna be Magic Maze, for all the reasons we just talked about.
Cool. My number 6 is
Ricochet Robots.
No, it's not a crossover. This is a brand new game.
It's brand new?
Yeah, kinda. 2000.
Is it Pendulum from Stonemaier Games?
Not that new.
We don't have it yet.
No.
Maybe we haven't this come out. We don't know.
Soon.
Probably when this comes out.
This we played it first in Essen last year.
A real-time game we played in Essen last year.
Yes, Mental Blocks.
Oh yeah, so yeah, I was gonna ask, did we play it in the Messe or no, we didn't?
No.
Mental Blocks.
Yeah, so
this is a cool game.
This is a cool game. It's a co-op game, and you're trying to build a specific shape with all these blocks in different shapes and colors. But I only see like one angle
Yes.
of what we're trying to build. So then I'm just like, oh, I see this and this, and you're just like, no, that doesn't make any sense, but I see this and this and this. And then you're trying to think in 3D and without seeing it, and that is super hard and really interesting. We played it with like 8 people the first time we
Which
played
is the maximum amount of people. Don't
was
do that.
like mayhem. It was horrible.
And it wasn't really fun.
No,
right?
it
Because
wasn't fun.
most, like 4 people saw the edges, so basically saw the same thing.
Yeah.
And then it was really hard to communicate, and I wouldn't recommend that. But with 4 players, especially 3 or 4 players, it's very good.
Very good. So this is, yeah, this was surprisingly fun.
And I think it has either 60 or 90 puzzles. Like it has like half of them are family puzzles. I think there's like 30 or 60 of each. I do not remember. But like if you play through them all, you're not going to remember the beginning of it. They have like half of them are family friendly, and then if you flip them over, they're like hard mode.
Oh, I peeked at the hard mode.
We have played some of those.
Gosh, but some of the like hardest look insane.
I think we played not the hardest, but like puzzle number 54 or something.
Yeah, we got kind of good.
And but
flow.
I think it's more fun playing like the harder puzzles, because then it's a chance of actually losing.
Yes.
Because you're playing on time, so you're trying to do it in a set amount of time depending on the number of players you are. But it is very good. It's basically, again, like Ricochet Robots is a competitive puzzle. It's basically like a co-op puzzle game.
Yes.
I enjoy it. So that is your number something?
7?
7.
Yeah.
Mental blocks.
Mental blocks.
My number 6 is a team game called Captain Sonar.
Cool.
This was a very innovative game when it came out.
Yes.
Very strange game. It's a game that's basically an 8-player game. You can play it with fewer, but it's one of those games that I want to play with 8 if I should play it.
I remember we playing it, just the 2 of us.
Did we try that?
1-on-1. We played it not real time, because then it's like turn-based.
Oh yeah, that's super boring.
That was really boring.
Doesn't really make any sense. But it's very fun because you have 4 different roles that communicate between each other, and you have this basically a dungeon master shield between you. It's not that. It's not Dungeons and Dragons on it. It's captains and sonars on it instead. And you have that between the teams. And then sometimes somebody shouts missile, and you're trying to shoot people with a missile. So it's basically a very advanced version of Battleship.
Yes, actually.
It's an 8-player game of Battleship, and it's actually fun. I enjoy it. Of course, it's a game like all real-time games. It has that problem if somebody doesn't understand something, it's hard to stop the game and explain it. And it's also hard to see if somebody does a mistake. It's hard to see if somebody messes up a rule, so they end up not being able to win. That is a problem with these kind of games, but it's still a very fun game. Haven't played it in a while. Don't know if I ever will play it again, but we have it still, I think. And I want to keep it because it's one of those like, oh, we're 8 people. Let's play it because it's a great experience.
Yeah, I agree. It's player dependent,
yes.
But when it has the right players and you're really in the zone, it's an amazing game.
I would say like I would go so far as say that every game is player dependent, but like especially the games in this list, all of these are very player dependent because of the real time elements.
Yes.
So that is my number 6, Captain Sonar.
Oh, I have to look at it again. I already forgot. My number 6 is also a cooperative game, and this is a game that we haven't played in a long while. It involves an app. It's XCOM the board game.
Okay, cool.
And I used to love this game, and I still do, but we don't play it as often. It's best when you're like all 4 persons, because you all each have a role, like a task that you're doing, and you're fighting basically aliens, and one person is like having the iPad and just like, oh, now there is people coming in this region and trying to keep track of everything, and one is the economic has the economic responsibility.
Yes.
And I can then say, if I'm in charge of deploying the planes, I can say, oh, I need like this amount of money because we need ships in this region, and he's just like, oh, okay, can you do with 4 instead of 6? Okay, and okay, our base can take some damage, it's fine. It's really hard. You can set the difficulty levels on this game as well, but this felt really different and innovative when we played it.
Oh yeah, and it still is.
It's still a unique game that really works, and you feel like you're like in this this main base trying to figure out this and launch your attack,
sending out the different missions, and I really enjoy this. For really doesn't have a lot to add, like you said, all of it. It's just a fun game, especially with 4, because like most of these games where you have roles, it's best with 4 players or with the maximum amount of players. So that is XCOM, the board game. My number 5 is gonna go quick. It's XCOM, the board game.
Oh, yeah, okay, cool. My number 5 is Sorcerer City. And this is like one of the most Euro-y games on my list. And they tend to, these real-time games, to like go to the lighter point of the scale.
A lot of them are co-op.
Yes. So this is a competitive like city building game. So you have like these tiles that you're laying out to build a city. So you're drawing one on one, and this you do on time. So you have like 3 minutes to put out as many tiles as you can in the best way possible. So you're trying to connect colors. So there's 4 colors in the game.
I think so, yeah.
Which corresponds to 4 kind of resources, and I get points for the ones that I connect.
Depending on, you have to have a score marker.
Yes, I have to do that. So I want to, let's see that I have a tile that scores for green in like a horizontal line. Then I want to build towards that because I know I have it in my deck, and also build fast enough so I actually draw the tile that gives me points for it. And there is monsters that come and ruin the things that you try to build. There's a market where you buy new tiles to kind of build a deck of tiles, and trying to convert the different resources into points.
It's basically a deck building tile laying game, which was what drew me into it when it was a Kickstarter. And then so it was real time. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna get people to play that with me. And I saw the playthrough. I think I saw Rado's playthrough, and I was like, oh, I need this game because this game looks amazing, and it is amazing.
It's really
It's a
cool.
very fun game. It's so unique. It has that you have a lot of strategy, a lot of that, but then you have those stressful elements. But that doesn't go on for too long, so it isn't a problem. And even people we play with who don't like real-time games have enjoyed this game quite a bit.
Yes,
so
actually.
it's chaotic, but it's not. You don't have so little time that you won't get anywhere. Like most of the time, maybe not the last round, but most of the time you're gonna get through your deck.
The last round is just not even thinking, just like boom.
And you have to
do something.
But this is a game where memory is important, because you have to
Yes.
remember what you have and remember what is important for you to get this turn, and so on and so forth.
Absolutely.
So that is Sorcerer City. My number 4 is a smaller game, a competitive game that came out last year called Jetpack Joyride.
Okay.
And this was just like, I love the app of Jetpack Joyride. I played that far too many hours. Really, really fun game, and Lucky Duck made this into a board game. We had the prototype, really, really liked that, and now we have the retail version. It is a quick game. It's basically a puzzle again, where you are using these tetromino tiles, see-through yellow tetromino tile, to basically bury the character from the beginning of the maze and all the way through the maze, trying to not get hit by lasers, trying to get the most coins, and trying to do it in the fastest time possible, trying to fulfill different missions to get points, and to get new items that will help you. And you're going to play through, I think, 4 levels of that. So it's like a 20th, I think maybe 30-minute game. A lot of hectic fun. Really enjoy that puzzle. Jetpack Joyride, and it's a very good implementation of a video game, which is interesting. It's very good implemented. It feels like you are kind of playing the video game. Really enjoy Jetpack Joyride from Lucky Duck Games.
Yeah, it's super good. I like it as well. I've totally forgotten my number 4 is Pictomania. This is a fun co-op game where what is it called?
Competitive.
I totally
You're
blanked
like,
on the word. What? Okay, so it's stressful with words, and it's also stressful with drawing in Pictomania. Yeah.
Good catch.
So this is kind of the drawing game for people who doesn't like to draw, kinda.
It's the best drawing game ever made, basically, because you don't have to be good at drawing.
Yeah, so you're kinda, you have a secret word that you have to draw, and the words get like crazier and crazier every round, so you're trying to like differentiate between apple and pear. Okay, that is easy, but then like idea and thought and temple and like a myth and legend, good luck. Well, anyways, you're drawing a thing, but you want to finish it as fast as possible, so you can start guessing on what the other players are drawing. So when I'm done, I'm flipping around so the other players can see, and then I'm guessing on what the others are drawing, because I can see the options like right in front of me. So really fun and just like revealing what it is in the like crazy rounds, and just oh, is that a legend? I totally thought it was a bird. Yeah, so a really, really great drawing game.
And what is important, like a really important part, is that you want people to guess your drawing.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
You don't, or else you would just draw nothing. So you want to draw fast, but you also want to draw like the best drawing you can for that. So that you will not get negative points, because if all people don't guess yours, you're going to get negative points for that.
Yeah.
But Pictomania is an amazing game, and it is one of my favorite. I think maybe it might have been my number one party game.
Oh yeah,
and it is like one of the best. It's the only drawing game I would ever play, and it's one I would play with joy.
Yeah, it's super good.
So that is Pictomania. This is going to be another quick one. My number 3 is Sorcerer's City.
And my number 3 is Captain Sonar.
Oh, so it was very quick.
Hello.
When both mine and yours were a crossover.
Yes.
So let's go to number 2. My number 2 is Escape, Curse of the Temple.
I'm just going to say it. It's a crossover.
So your number 2 is also Escape. Yeah, I knew you were gonna have it on the list, so that means crossover
it had
dance.
to be somewhere.
Crossover dance. Crossover dance.
I haven't quite decided on my moves.
This is a crossover dance. Cha cha cha. Yes. Escape Curse of the Temple is made by a very good friend of ours. He wasn't our friend when we got the game, and not because we didn't like him, and then he became our friend later.
Enemy.
But we didn't know him, and I remember when I first thought it was made by a Norwegian, I was like, oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
And then we now know him, which is pretty cool. He's a really good guy. He's Christian. He's one of the guys from boardgames who's made the Magnificent, Santa Maria, and Tres Vulcana, and all of those great games. But Escape the Curse of the Temple was the first one we played from him. It's a game, it's basically a Yahtzee game where you frantically roll dice, Yahtzee style, and trying to move through a temple, trying to get new tiles, like explore the temple, trying to get the crystals to lift the curse. And you use the soundtrack which says Escape!
And
you
drums and the Indiana Jones style.
You have like 10 minutes, and I think like after 5 minutes you have to go back to the beginning, and then you have to try. So hopefully you will be able to find the exit during those first 5 minutes, because you hopefully will win then. And there's great expansions, and Christian made like a really great like kind of a scenario where you can play through all the scenarios and make it harder and harder and harder. Fantastic game. My number 2, and also your number 2, so you probably have something to say as well.
Yeah, that's right. I need to say something as well. I really like this game.
You don't need to, like, it's a free country.
Yeah, but I want to.
And that is okay.
It's a great game. I already talked a lot about it recently because it was in my top 10 light games list. It feels like a really great like team game as well, because we can, if we're 4 people, we can split up and then help each other with different tests. And also it feels fresh when I play it today. I really like the expansions though, so I think you should check it out.
So yeah, Escape, Curse of the Temple. It has like a super big box now with all the expansions. Go check it out if you want a great game both for families and for gamers. 10-minute game, lots of variability. Love it. Escape, Curse of the Temple. Okay, so we are already at number 1, and I'm pretty sure I know your number 1, because if it isn't, I don't know who you are anymore.
Yeah.
So you can say your number 1.
My number 1 is Galaxy Trucker.
And my number 1 is Galaxy Trucker.
Oh, really?
So those are double crossover dance.
Oh, this is going to be more awesome than the last one.
Yeah, it has to be like
And we take the no.
Oh yeah, I like the ooh.
Yeah.
My dance moves are kind of old, but yeah, Galaxy Trucker. You can talk about this one.
This is a game by Vlad Survival. It's my favorite game from his. This has always been my like guilty pleasure game because I have always wanted to play it like no matter what because I was super good at it.
You are.
And your ships were crashing and burning. I love the theme for this game. You are broke in the galaxy somewhere and you need a job and then you like get hired by a company that flies like plumbing parts through the galaxy and then but you don't have a ship so you kind of have to put the plumbing parts that you're going to deliver together as a ship and then fly it and then you're crashing in and that is the real-time part. The building of the spaceship. You have like your hand is your crane so you don't use both of your hands and then you're flipping around one tile so
you even have to take it to your
and
before
then
you can flip
flipping it and just like do I need that and more importantly do I need it now and then just like putting it back, building as fast as you can and hoping that his tile is there up for grabs.
Probably someone else has taken it.
Probably. And then you're not in real time, like a turn-based flipping over cards as you travel across the galaxies and getting like hit by meteors and raided by pirates and picking up some cargo.
Sometimes you also get cargo and you will get money if your ship is still a ship when you get
and
back.
getting some sickness and viruses into your ship, killing off like half of your crew, and also getting blown to bits by stuff.
It's a very random, wacky game, but it's very, very much a fun one. It can be a little long, especially if you play like if you play the fun version, it's a bit long. So sadly, because you're building a bigger and bigger ship, you have like a layout where you can build your ships. That is getting bigger and bigger after each round. But it's an amazing game, and the real-time part here is really, really fun. I haven't played this in many years, but it's still...
We have the expansion for it.
And we have many expansions. I think we have all of them.
I said the expansions.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I tried to say.
Oh yeah, sorry. I just
And it has like aliens that you can have. It got like thrusters that you can like thrust your ship in one direction so the meteors miss you or hit some other part. Where you have a shield, for example. You got solar power, so you don't need batteries. All these kinds of things, but it's a little overwhelming when you got new people over or when you're playing it for the first time in many years. But it's a super cool game, and it will always have like a special place in my heart.
I think like that's the biggest hurdle of the game, especially when the expansions are in there, is to teach the game. Because as all other real-time games, it's hard to stop and like, what does this do? What does this do?
Yeah.
You can do that in all other games. You can do that because it doesn't matter, but in real-time games it does matter. So that is kind of like the biggest flaw with all real-time games, is that everybody has to understand all of the rules before you begin or before the real-time begin, or else probably somebody's gonna mess up and do something bad for themselves.
Yes, absolutely.
But that is number one for both of us, Galaxy Trucker. And that is the end of another top 10 list, and we really hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Johannes.
I'm Senua.
And you've been watching Board Gaming Ramblings, and bye-bye.